Peace, Love, Liberty Radio version 4.0. Prepare for launch.
OTC is go.
Packetbus is go.
PTC is go.
LPS is go.
Houston flight is go.
Molotov.
STM is go.
Safety-com is go.
STU is go.
LRD is go. SRO is go.
CDI is go.
Launch Director, NTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
99, proceeded, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Right away, Houston.
Consequences so severe, so pull your trigger quickly, dear. Our patriots are acting up, let's punish them with fear. Hey, hey!
Hey, welcome to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. I'm your host, Darryl W. Perry. You can find the show online at fppradio.com. And don't forget, the next show on Wednesday is the Ask Me Anything, where I answer your questions. So if you have any questions, send those over, ama@fppradio.com. That's AMA as in Ask Me Anything at fppradio.com. So let me jump into before I jump into the version 4.0 of the show, let me start off by saying that I'm not really feeling all that great today, and you might be able to tell. I'm not really sure. Maybe I sound like I'm a little off, and that's because I am. I woke up with an absolutely horrible headache. That happens from time to time, and if you've listened to the show for a while, you know that I've had a constant headache since August 27th of 2011, at approximately 9:45 a.m. Central Daylight Time. And, that does not go away. But there are certain days that the headache is worse, certain days that it's better. And I've noticed patterns to where certain weather patterns generally make the headache worse. And overcast conditions are one of those weather patterns that make the headache worse. So I'm having a pretty bad headache day today. But nonetheless, I will still power through Peace, Love, Liberty Radio version 4.0 on helping you become a better version of you while I become a better version of me. And, I've been doing a lot of list sort of things lately, and I've got another one for you. This from archetypes.com. 10 positive habits to make your morning happier. And I know not everybody's a morning person, and that's fine. Sometimes you wake up and it takes you a couple of hours to really, start feeling like a normal human being. Although what is normal? Well, we don't have time for that. But, your relative normal, not your normal relatives, because if your relatives are anything like mine, they're absolutely not normal at all. But I digress. Again, article from archetypes.com. They say the morning is the best time to determine how productive your day will become. The morning is not just a time to reflect in a quiet atmosphere. It's also a time to get organized to make smarter decisions about your day's activities. And you may recall that on Friday, we talked about, ways to be productive, and one of the best ways to be as productive as possible is to have a morning routine that varies as little as possible. And, now we're actually going to discuss a potential morning routine. It's a morning routine that some people say will actually cause you to wind up being cheerier throughout the day. The article here continues. It says it's up to you to maintain healthy habits during the mornings so that you can have the energy and the mindset to face a busy day. Your mornings could be smarter and happier if you learn to do these 10 things. And again, I as with all of the list of here's, people that do X or Y. These are generally best practices, not saying that if you do X, then Y, but people that generally do X tend to be Y, and in this case, people that do these 10 things tend to be a little bit happier than, those that do not. And the very first one, and I will take exception to this because really, who determines what is early? Some people consider anything before noon early, especially if they work a second shift job. Some people will consider, anything after 6 o'clock to be you're sleeping in, you lazy bum. But number one on the list is wake up early. Waking up early allows you to tap into the peace and quiet an early morning provides. You can accomplish so much in those wee hours of the morning and get organized smarter for your day's activities. And again, it all depends on what your schedule is. If you're not going to bed until 2 o'clock in the morning, then it doesn't make sense to wake up at 6 or 8 in the morning. If you're going to bed at 2 a.m., you might want to sleep in until at least 10 a.m., although it's not really sleeping in per se because you're only then getting 8 hours of sleep, which is about the amount of sleep that you need. But, so wake up, quote unquote, early. And on the one hand, I definitely agree that, the wee hours of the day do tend to be quieter. So that's why some people prefer working a late second shift or even a third shift because it is so quiet during that period. I know when I used to work security, I loved working a third shift because it was so quiet. It was not hectic. There was not, all of the noise, if you will, of life because, well, the vast majority of people are asleep. Second thing, after waking up, quote-unquote, early, drink a glass of warm lemon water. They say drinking a glass of warm water with lemon is an ideal way to get your body going. Since your body must have gone without water for about 8 hours, drinking a glass of having a weird thing to where my brain just could not read words there for a second. Since your body must have gone at least 8 hours without water, drinking a glass of warm lemon water helps start the rehydration process and get your internal system lubricated. And they don't specify why warm water instead of cold, but I did see an article about that I will find the link to put in the show notes. I'll also give you the other 8 things that they say you should do in the morning to have a happier day. We'll go through those next here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap, Spendabit, and Amazon at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. The Doublespeak Dictionary by Leslie Starr O'Hara satirizes the marked difference between the ideal of we the people and the reality of we the elite, while offering an insightful glimpse into the clockworks of the totalitarian mind. Ever irreverent but never irrelevant, the Doublespeak Dictionary serves as a subversive and humorous but timely reminder that the emperor has no clothes. The Doublespeak Dictionary is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry, online at fppradio.com.
Before I continue with this article of 10 things to do in the morning to be happier, I've got a question for you. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Have you seen the price of Bitcoin lately? It's up around $700. Well, there's a way that you can spend. There's actually a lot of ways you can spend your Bitcoin, and you might be looking for a place that helps you know how to spend your Bitcoin. Well, you need Spendabit in your arsenal. Spendabit is the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Spend a bit. Use my affiliate link, spendabit.fppradio.com. And if you're a Bitcoin accepting merchant like I am, ask about their merchant suite to reach even more customers. That's spendabit.fppradio.com. That's spendabit.fppradio.com. Back now to the list of 10 things, 10 positive habits to make your mornings happier. Number 1 is wake up early. Number 2, drink a glass of warm lemon water. Number 3, meditate. Meditation offers you clarity and focus for the day. By meditating, you block out any distractions you are currently experiencing and have a healthy perspective for the day. The advantages of meditation include less stress, increased memory, better focus, and more creativity. Meditating for a few minutes could improve your morning to become happier and smarter. And there was the episode that we did a while back where I talked about the benefits of meditation. So you can find that to find out all of the reasons why you should meditate. They recommend you do so in the morning. They also, here on this list, recommend that you send a heartwarming message. By sending someone a heartwarming message, you show strength and courage, remarkable qualities that improve your happiness and your wellness. Doing something for others certainly will make you feel better. The morning is an ideal time to reach out to someone special and let them know they have a special place in your heart. Practice positive self-talk. And this is something that a lot of people definitely need to do, myself included. And I remembered speaking briefly about this a couple of weeks ago where I was listening to a podcast and they were recommending that you write yourself, happy little positive notes and put it on your bathroom mirror. Because most people, after they wake up in the morning, they go into the bathroom and then they start criticizing themselves. Oh, I need to brush my hair. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to, do all of these things to my physical appearance. And then it sort of, puts you in that negative mindset because you're critiquing yourself. Well, practice positive self-talk. And they actually reference the mirror in their paragraph here. It says, when you look into the mirror, what do you see? You have to constantly remind yourself of the wonderful and interesting things you are capable of. Tell yourself phrases like, I am a wonderful person. I will achieve everything I set out to do today. I am a remarkable person. When you recite such affirmations, you position yourself for a positive and interesting day. The next item on the list, listen to uplifting music. Listening to your favorite song could get your day started on a high. You get fired up when you listen to that perfect song, and it brightens your mood. Having a good time and letting yourself loose makes you happier and prepared for an interesting day. Next on the list, read an inspirational message. Reading an inspirational message could be what offers us the strength we need each and every morning. The inspirational message you read could be religious or an enlightening piece that offers you the wisdom that will encourage you in new ways. Have a priority list is number, I believe, 8 on the list here. Having a list, and again, this is not something that I necessarily recommend, but it is what they consider here to be, best practices. And there's reasons to have and not to have necessarily a list of tasks, because some people will just put things on a list so that they can scratch it off. Of, eat lunch, scratch it off. Write a list, scratch it off. So you definitely need to know what sorts of tasks you need to do for a given day, but you don't necessarily need to have everything written down on a list. But they do specify the word here, priority. And they say having a list helps you get organized for the day. It's also a habit that helps you overcome procrastination and take necessary actions on your daily affairs. Schedule your task in such a way that you identify those tasks that are worth completing before anything else. This list will offer you a direction on how you will spend your day. And again, sometimes you have the same routine day in, day out. You don't necessarily need to make a list of things that you do every single day. That seems sort of, what's the word there, redundant. And that might not even be the right word. But, if you have a very repetitive schedule, then, making a list seems, a little asinine. Next on the list, and this is one that I definitely endorse, and I have not been doing myself, but they do say review your goals. And you don't necessarily need to do this every day, but they say know what you're up to and how far you've come. Reflecting on past experiences offers you the knowledge and wisdom to proceed on future projects in a more synthetic way. By reviewing your goals, you know what action is required from you daily. Now, I have a task manager, and one of the things in my task manager is 1 month, 6 month, and 1 year goals. And I actually have something set in my task manager where review goals is one of the things that I have to check off. And yes, I realize that I'm saying, like, I have a list per se, and I just immediately preceded by saying, having a list is not necessarily something to do. But that's not a list of everything I have to do every day. It's certain things of, hey, make sure you get this done. Make sure you get this done. And setting and reviewing goals is something on my to-do list that I actually need to do. What's item number 10 on the list of 10 things to do every morning to be happier? Well, stay tuned. You'll find out here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to BIPCOT.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
In 1999, Darryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic. Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Darryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com.
Hi, this is Davi Barker from ShinyBadges.com, and you're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry.
What can you do to make yourself happier? Well, it's not on their list, and it's, not one of the official 10 things to do to be happier, but getting some gold and silver in your hands, that generally winds up making me happier anyway. I love feeling the, weight of gold and silver. And yes, I like Bitcoin, but you can't feel the Bitcoin. Like, sure, I could pick up my laptop, but that's not the weight of Bitcoin. You can pick up an ounce of silver and you can feel that there's something there. You can pick up some gold and you can feel the weight behind that. Well, you can get some gold and or silver from Roberts and Roberts Brokerage, and people have been doing that for nearly 40 years. Since 1977, Roberts and Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Give Roberts and Roberts Brokerage a call today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. That's 800-874-9760 or visit them online at RRBI, as in Roberts and Roberts Brokerage Incorporated, rrbi.co. Now, let's jump back to the list, and I'll go through these one more time. I will not read the paragraphs, but it's 10 positive habits to make your morning happier. Number 1, they say wake up early. Number 2, drink a glass of warm lemon water. Meditate. Send a heartwarming message. Practice positive self-talk. Listen to uplifting music. Read an inspirational message. Have a priority list. Number 9 is review your goals. And number 10, they say to exercise. Now, I don't do this in the morning. I do this in the afternoons. But, it might be worth trying to rearrange my schedule to get this done in the morning. I don't know. It's Saturday mornings, because right now I'm training for a triathlon. So Saturday mornings I'm waking up bright and early, getting up about 7 o'clock, going to the gym at 8 o'clock, and doing about 23 miles on a stationary bike, and then doing a full body workout after doing 20 plus miles on a stationary bike. And you might say I'm a crazy person, and I would not deny that. But what I found is that, it gives me a little bit more energy early in the morning, but then, later in the day, I'm a little more tired because I'm waking up earlier than I'm used to. And, not necessarily getting the amount of sleep that I should, but that's a completely different subject. But exercise, they say do this in the morning, because it gets your body in shape. And yes, exercising does get you in shape. But they say specifically that exercising in the morning is great for your mind. A 5-minute stretch can wake up your muscles and get you ready for the day ahead. Exercise energizes you even without the use of energy drinks or caffeinated beverages. And they're talking about short exercises here, not a full body, 1 hour workout. So, this might be something that I can fit into my routine. And if I do, I'll let you know how it winds up working out for me. Now, this was specifically 10 things to do in the morning, but what are just 15 general things that you can do to be a little happier and also a little healthier? This article comes from Lifehack, and as always, the link will be in the show notes. Number 1 on their list of 15 things to do to be happier and healthier: volunteer to help others. Sometimes we forget that there are others who need our help. When we give to others, we come away with a sense of satisfaction that can't be replicated. Think of a time you've been there for someone, and you will remember that feeling. Make this notion of serving others part of your weekly routine. You'll be provided a life change for two, or rather, you will be providing a life change for 2 people, yourself and the recipient of your kindness. On a smaller scale, you could also make giving compliments part of your daily routine. This also has a pleasant effect on your mood, and it's a nice thing to do for others. I also like doing the random acts of kindness, and I've not done this one necessarily in a while, but just, paying for somebody's drink at Starbucks or McDonald's or wherever you happen to be. If somebody's just getting one item, just reach in front, tell the cashier, I've got this. Put his thing on my tab, I've got this. And it generally will brighten somebody's day. And, like I said, I've not done this in a while, but just, random acts of paying it forward, paying it back, however you want to look at it. And that is definitely catchy, especially if you just give the cashier $5 extra and say the next cup of coffee is on me, and make sure that you tell them some random stranger paid for it. Because a lot of times people will then, $5. Well, since I got a free coffee, give the next person a free coffee. Since I got this, help the next person. And of course, at some point it will end, because not everybody is going to be a, decent human being and pay it forward. But it's definitely something to brighten people's days. We'll continue here in the closing moments of 15 small changes you can make to become happier and healthier here on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio version 4.0. When her plush and comfy life suddenly and unexpectedly fell apart, Brooke and her dog Cloud set out to defy the odds. If this is a man's world, as they say, living on the streets is no place for a young woman. One day she awoke in the redwood forest and realized she had become a hobo, and would ultimately come to know exactly what it means to survive. How to Be a Hobo by Brooke Willett is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? Will anybody care? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
You're listening to Peace, Love, Liberty Radio with Darryl W. Perry, online at fppradio.com.
Hey, we're here in the closing moments of Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, and I definitely will not have time to read the paragraphs and go into, my little spiel of why I agree or disagree with these things, but 15 things that you can do, small changes to become happier and healthier. Number 1, they say volunteer to help others. Number 2 here, they say wake up earlier. They don't necessarily define what earlier is, but you still need to get your certain amount of sleep. Number 3, spend money on experiences. And this is something I definitely approve of. I would much rather have stories to tell than things to, keep on a shelf somewhere. Number 4, they say laugh, cry, and have sex. And I'll just read partly. They say we already know that sex is good for your health, as it's fantastic exercise. But now that we know it's good for our moods, there's no excuse to not have a good romp. Well, there's one excuse of not having an available partner. Number 5 on the list, drink almond milk. They say that almond milk has many fantastic benefits, while dairy milk can wreak havoc on our body. And I started drinking almond milk recently, not to get away from cow's milk, because I've never been a fan of cow's milk. But, it's fairly cheap and it tastes good and it's different. It's different from just drinking water or drinking juice. Number 6, they say smile. 7, surround yourself with happy, healthy people. Breathe properly. Expose yourself to humor. Not expose yourself, but expose yourself to humor. Specifically, they mention watch a good comedy television, read humorous books, listen to happy music. Number 10 on the list, write a pot list. Not a list of various types of weed that you want to smoke, but it's like a baby bucket list. But instead of things that you want to do before you die, things you want to do in the next 30 days. Number 11, they say change your sleep routine. And again, I will post the link in the show notes. You can read exactly what they mean by that. Connect with something bigger than yourself. It could be a community group, a religion, nature, or the universe in some kind of way. But being connected to something makes life have more meaning. Number 13, eat, drink, and be merry. Number 14, lift weights. And number 15, be grateful. Hey, that's the end of the show. Don't forget, every Wednesday I answer your questions. Send those over ama@fppradio.com.
The podcasts of FPP Radio are licensed under Copyheart. We believe that copying is a form of flattery and do not abide by the copyright laws. Those laws serve to restrict the flow of ideas, which no one can really own. Copying is an act of love. Love is not subject to law. If you enjoy the show, consider joining the Fans program and get perks like ad-free versions of Peace, Love, Liberty Radio and FPP Radio News. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.